This week I was out at a couple of different circuits testing some karts, and channel members will have seen me building this one in my garage. This was for Simon Dean, who's competing in GX UK this year, and we took this kart to a very wet Red Lodge circuit to shake it down, and here's a lap of me driving it round on slicks in the rain. We're going to get to something slightly quicker once you've seen this lap, but let's start off with this, and I'm going to talk you through a lap of Red Lodge from my perspective on some very cold slick Maxxis sport tyres in a GX UK kart. I'd never been to Red Lodge before, so this was all a little bit of a voyage of discovery, but basically what you find with these karts is you don't have very much grip front or rear, as you can see from the massive understeer I've got everywhere, but at the apexes of some of the corners, like that one we just went through, there was a bit more grip where there was some freshly laid tarmac. Slightly drier lines than you would expect in the wet tended to work a little bit, and that's again because there's such little grip. Taking any extra distance tended to have a really negative impact on the lap delta on my dashboard. So short distances, because you're just going so slow anyway, quite often were the best compromise. Now I am still searching for grip, and you see at the inside of this long left-hander there's a little bit of a drier patch just there. That seemed to grip up relatively well. When I tried going around the outside I just understeered wider and wider, and as you can see into this real tight section here, short line, there's another patch of new tarmac just here, so there we go, use that really hooks you around. And then coming into the final sector, this really did feel quite sketchy going into the final chicane here, because there's no turn-in whatsoever. You had to really trail the brakes to get any kind of purchase on the front, just to get the rear to rotate slightly, and then out of the final corner being careful not to get too much oversteer and waste any kind of momentum that you generated on the exit by spinning the wheels.
Okay, so the banging noises are because we're just going way too slow because there's no grip. So all that banging is because the clutch is like grabbing the whole time, because we're just travelling way too slow at the apexes. The kart felt really good.
And so that was the shakedown done for Simon's new kart. I think he was happy with it, and look out for him, he'll be very competitive this season. So next it was over to Fulbeck, and I had a couple of days with a couple of different drivers at Fulbeck doing some coaching, but as part of that I also had the opportunity to drive one short session in a Rotax Max kart to generate some baseline data we could then compare to. And so what you're going to see now is my first and only session driving a Rotax Max at Fulbeck, and I think by the end of it we pretty much got on at a decent pace. Okay, so let's just talk you through this session and what I was thinking. First of all, it was freezing cold, so tyres absolutely stone cold, and my only experience of this track up until now had been in a GX UK kart, so I'll show you a comparison lap after this session's finished, but it was considerably faster obviously driving the Rotax. So my focus here is just on trying to get the best possible data to compare for Tom. It was Tom Butler that I was doing some coaching with here, and this is his kart. I wanted to make sure we were getting something representative that would actually give him some positive information to try and aim at or compare against. And obviously with just an 8-minute session, which includes an out lap and a few laps getting the tyres up to temperature, I had a very narrow window in which to try and set something decent to compare against. And so you'll see I've already run really wide. We've got one of the locals here who's done a few sessions already on this day who comes past me, and this really is my benchmark. Number 49 here I think was the fastest out on track during this day, so although he pulls away right now as I'm just getting used to the kart, after a couple of laps this gap actually stops increasing and I begin to reel him back in towards the end. So I was using him to gauge whether or not I was roughly on the pace for this day in these conditions. So just for information, we're running on used Mojo tyres. It was about 1 degree air temperature, so very, very cold day. And being Fulbeck, as you can see around this section, there is moss, grass, other organic matter in the track surface. It's just a pretty uncared for, rough kind of surface here. And although I know that, it does take a little bit of time just to get your eye in and know how the kart's going to respond on these tyres. And in this corner in particular, see once again I run wide, there is no grip at all. Effectively the track's falling apart underneath you, and so the front tyres are running over a bunch of holes rather than tarmac. And it took me these first 2 laps to realise I actually needed to turn in at a lower speed and with an earlier turning point for that particular hairpin. Okay, so we do have a couple of laps under our belt now. This should start to get slightly better, and so I'll try and talk you through the lap. Chicane number 1, we used loads of curb, and on the exit there as well. There's a big divot here on the exit. You just drive straight through it. Slightly late apex here in the hairpin because the corner tightens towards the end. Trying not to run too wide on the exit. You then move the kart towards the middle and over to the right, ready for the second bust-up chicane. You can use tons of curb on all 3 curbs just there, especially because the first barrier is just made of foam, so even if you clip it, it's not the end of the world. Late apex on that 90-degree left-hander, and this time just about getting somewhere near an apex in that really tricky hairpin towards the end of the lap. Into the dogleg section section here. Tons of curb, left front tyre over the grass, and we run wide to the exit curb, try and get the car over to the right hand side ready for the final corner to carry as much speed as possible. And you'll hear all through this session I was still trying to figure that one out, and I still think there was at least half a second from my own driving by the end of this session in that sector alone. So given the opportunity to do some more runs, I think I would have found quite a bit of time. But this short run is what we've got to work with, and you do just have to try and figure things out as quickly as possible in my job. So here we go again then, through the chicane. Tons of curb on all the sides, lots of exit curb there too. And again, I'm going to try for a slightly late apex in the 90-degree left, just kissing the curb. Do we get any closer to the apex this time in the hairpin? Yeah, pretty much exactly where I wanted to be that time. Finally, I've sussed that one. And into the final dogleg section again, over the grass on the inside, run wide in the middle, trying to pick up the throttle, and just trying to control that oversteer here. You want to carry speed. If you carry too much speed, the revs pick up exactly the moment where you've got peak lateral force, and it breaks away at the rear, and then you're having to deal with power oversteer right when you want to be moving forward onto the main straight. So you can see how much I'm learning here, and how much the tyres are getting stickier, because I gained nearly 7/10 on that last lap alone, and we're going to be going quicker on each of these subsequent laps. And so far we're another 10th up on this one. This time let's just slow it down and show just how close you have to get to these barriers through some of these corners. I'll pick another chicane shortly and we'll look at just how much curb we use, and there's not many laps remaining here. The session, as I mentioned, is pretty short, so I'll keep quiet on the fastest lap of the run just so you can see how that went. But let's use this lap to slow down the dogleg section here into this next chicane, just to see how much curb we're going to use here, fully across the grass with the curb down the center of the kart here. So you've got this nice straight trajectory to the apex of the next corner without having to turn left and then right. I can see on the Alfano dash display there we're a further 0.3 of a second up on this lap as we approach the final couple of corners. And so, although this next lap isn't the fastest one of the session, let's use it to compare against the GX UK lap. I've actually got the lap record in GX UK, so this is a pretty good benchmark of how fast you can go in a GX kart around here. And this is going to give you an impression of just how much quicker this Rotax Max feels to me when I'm driving this around the same track. Now, both of these laps were filmed on very cold days, and what's actually particularly impressive is the GX UK car in the small picture-in-picture up the top right there actually has a very similar mid-corner speed to the kart you're seeing in the main picture, this Rotax Max. The chassis are the same, you can actually see the steering wheels are identical there, so what we're really comparing here is engine power. And with around 9 to 10 horsepower in that GX kart and about 30 plus horsepower in this Rotax Max, it's not a very fair comparison. So the Rotax here is about to exit the final corner, and very shortly we'll be rushing towards the start line at about 65 miles per hour. The GX UK kart there is still coming. Got some traffic to negotiate, but this is all full throttle. I remember this lap pretty well, and I'm just going to keep talking until I get to the start line so we can then release the Rotax once again. And aware I'm running out of time, I'm now about to do my fastest 2 laps of the session. So this is where I start to break into the 45s. A really fast race lap in good conditions with fresh tyres is a 44 around here. So in one 8-minute session, I was pretty happy to get down into the kind of mid 45s with a lot of time left on the table. And here's where the time starts to get made up. I brake later, I use even more curb there. On the inside, I'm now starting to use the curb, and on the next lap, you're going to see that even more. I'm committing to these high-speed corners more as well, trying to be accurate with when to pick up the throttle and the hairpin here so as not to flood the engine. And really, I'm just trying to be braver on the brakes. I see a time gain every time I go deeper on the brakes into some of these corners. There's just a lot more grip than I normally have in any kart that I tend to race. So just accessing that, maximizing it, tends to make the difference. Right, I'm going to stay quiet on this lap. This is the fastest one. Here we go. What's frustrating is I've really messed up the final sector there, just with a little bit of inaccuracy, not knowing the exact best compromise of entry speed and mid-corner throttle, how sideways you need to be to get the right rotation without actually over-slowing the car and scrubbing too much speed. So that's something to work on if I get the chance to drive one of these around here again. Definitely enjoyed it though. It's so nice to have that kind of power under your right foot. So I'm going to try and do a lot more Rotax driving this year. And on this final flying lap you're watching now, it just wasn't quite as good. I tried a couple of different things and just lost more time than I gained. And that's how it goes. You need to experiment, especially when it's a new kart track combo for you. I did get the data I needed though. We had a good comparison lap there to look at. And probably the most useful thing we found in comparing my data to Tom's was that there was some time being left on the table in terms of braking later and braking harder. So quite a simple thing to then go and focus on and enact in the next session. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing and click the little bell icon so you get notified every time a new video is posted. And if you really liked it, why not become a channel member and you get access to some awesome events like the free kart race coming up on this channel in the next couple of weeks.
There's a lot of time left to find, but I'm still just exploring the limits. I wasted a few laps at the start getting used to it, but yeah, it's okay.
If you think you'd benefit from driver coaching, whether in the sim, in a kart, or in a car, check out my other YouTube channel, The Race Coach, and take a peek behind the scenes at some of our coaching sessions. Thanks for watching this one, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks' time. Love you, bye.